In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on October 26, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Texas versus Vanderbilt. One of the standout matchups in college football this weekend takes place in the Southeastern Conference, where the 25th-ranked Vanderbilt Commodores prepare to host the 5th-ranked Texas Longhorns. Historically, Vanderbilt holds a slight edge in this head-to-head series, boasting an 8-3-1 record against Texas. However, it has been nearly a century since the 2 programs last met on the field, with their most recent showdown taking place in 1928. In that contest, the Commodores managed to edge out a narrow 13-12 victory in Dallas. Now, these teams meet again under very different circumstances, and the stakes are high for both sides. The Longhorns are coming off a disappointing and highly scrutinized performance after being dismantled by Georgia in the national primetime game last week. Texas was overwhelmed from the start, trailing 23-0 by halftime, and looked outmatched in every phase of the game. Some bettors may still expect Texas to rebound this week, seeing Vanderbilt as a weaker opponent. However, that assumption could be a costly mistake. The Longhorns' offensive line was exploited by Georgia's front 7, which applied relentless pressure on quarterback Quinn Ewers. Vanderbilt's defensive staff will undoubtedly aim to replicate Georgia's success, deploying a variety of blitz packages to rattle Ewers and disrupt the rhythm of Texas's offense. It's important to note that this year's Vanderbilt squad is not the pushover many expect. They have already made a statement in Southeastern Conference play by upsetting the number 1 Alabama, defeating Kentucky on the road, and taking 7th-ranked Missouri to overtime in a narrow 3-point loss. There is little evidence to suggest Texas will run away with a blowout win, especially on the road in Nashville. Quarterback Diego Pavia has brought new life to the Commodores, using his dual threat abilities to extend plays and energize the team on both sides of the ball. Vanderbilt has been a formidable force at home this season, notching key wins over Virginia Tech and Alabama. Riding the momentum of a 3-game winning streak, the Commodores have continued to demonstrate resilience and an ability to close out tight contests. Their 2 losses this season came by a combined total of just 7 points, which speaks volumes about their competitiveness. Meanwhile, Texas's recent stumble against Georgia has caused many to reevaluate the Longhorns' status as an elite program. That 30-15 defeat at home shattered the aura of invincibility that Texas had carried earlier in the season, exposing several areas of concern, particularly on the offensive line. While Texas remains the more talented team on paper and enters this matchup as the favorite, Vanderbilt has made a habit of defying expectations. This season, the Commodores have embraced the role of giant slayers, pulling off shocking victories over Kentucky and Alabama as double-digit underdogs. They nearly did the same against Missouri, falling just short in overtime. Vanderbilt's success against the spread is also worth noting. The Commodores are a perfect 4-0 against the spread as underdogs this season, with 3 of those covers resulting in outright wins. Additionally, they have covered the spread in 5 consecutive games as underdogs, including all 5 instances as double-digit underdogs. Much of this success can be attributed to the playmaking ability of quarterback Diego Pavia, whose versatility has given Vanderbilt a dangerous edge. With their confidence at an all-time high, the Vanderbilt Commodores to cover the spread as underdogs is our full-game side pick. In order to have the best chance at pulling off the upset, or at the very least keeping the game close, Vanderbilt will focus on controlling the time of possession. The Commodores are not built for a high-scoring shootout with Texas, so their game plan will center around methodically moving the chains and limiting the Longhorns' offensive opportunities. Texas's struggles on offense were evident last week when they managed only 15 points against Georgia. Ewers appeared uncomfortable throughout the game, crumbling under the relentless pressure applied by Georgia's defensive front. Vanderbilt's defense will aim to replicate that blueprint, applying similar pressure to force Texas into running the ball more often, which will keep the clock moving and limit explosive plays. Vanderbilt will lean heavily on quarterback Diego Pavia's mobility to sustain long drives and control the tempo. Although Pavia averages fewer than 200 passing yards per game, he leads the team in rushing, making him a dual threat that can keep drives alive with his ability to escape the pocket. His presence has allowed Vanderbilt to grind out victories with extended possessions, wearing down opposing defenses. Both teams have also shown a recent trend toward low-scoring games. Vanderbilt's last 2 contests finished under the projected total, while Texas has gone under the total in 4 consecutive games. Given both teams' reliance on the ground game and an emphasis on controlling possession, this matchup is likely to be another low-scoring affair. With that in mind, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Florida State versus Miami, Florida. One of the most celebrated and historic rivalries in college football will reignite on Saturday when the Florida State Seminoles head to South Florida to face off against the Miami Hurricanes in a high-stakes Atlantic Coast Conference showdown. The Seminoles, who put together a stellar 13-0 regular season last year before stumbling in their bowl game, have experienced a dramatic fall from grace this year. They currently sit at 1-6 overall, with a dismal 1-5 record in conference play. On the other hand, Miami enters the matchup riding high, ranked among the top 5 teams in the nation. The Hurricanes boast an unblemished 7-0 record, including a perfect 3-0 mark in Atlantic Coast Conference play, making them one of the most dangerous teams in the country. This weekend's clash will mark the 59th meeting in a rivalry that has seen its fair share of dramatic moments and shifts in momentum over the years. Miami holds a narrow lead in the all-time series, edging Florida State 35-33. However, recent history favors the Seminoles, who have won the last 3 meetings between the teams, including a hard-fought 27-20 victory in Tallahassee last season. Yet, the landscape has shifted dramatically since then. Florida State's program is struggling to stay afloat this season, and they are likely to be without their starting quarterback, DJ Uiagalelei, for another week. Uiagalelei has been sidelined for the last 2 games with a hand injury, and in his absence, the Seminoles have managed only 14.5 points per game, with an average of 259.5 yards. Meanwhile, Miami's defense, while not flawless, has proven capable of clamping down when it matters. The Hurricanes did allow Louisville to stick around longer than they should have last week, surrendering a touchdown in the game's closing moments, but they have an opportunity to clean things up this week. Miami has always taken pride in dominating Florida State, and the theme for this game appears to be kick them while they're down. With star quarterback Ward leading the way and currently standing out as a Heisman favorite, Miami is poised to put on another impressive display, especially at home. While the rivalry between these 2 teams has featured thrilling battles over the years, there have also been several blowouts. Recent matchups offer evidence of how one-sided things can become when one team gains the upper hand. Florida State has won the last 3 meetings, including a crushing 45-3 victory in Miami in 2022. However, Miami had previously dominated the series, winning 4 consecutive matchups, including an emphatic 52-10 blowout in 2020. This time around, the Seminoles will be at a disadvantage, relying on an inexperienced quarterback, Beck, who is coming off a subpar performance in which he completed only 9 passes for fewer than 150 yards against Duke. Beck now faces a daunting task against a Miami defense ranked 13th nationally in sacks per game and 22nd in total defense. To make matters worse for Florida State, they'll likely be playing from behind, given the explosive nature of Miami's offense. The Hurricanes currently rank 1st in the nation in both total offense and scoring, with the ability to dominate opponents through both the air and ground game. With Florida State fielding the 129th ranked defense in the country, they simply don't have the firepower to keep up unless Miami hands them opportunities through turnovers. However, that scenario seems unlikely since the Seminoles rank 126th nationally in turnover margin, meaning they've struggled all season with giveaways. While rivalries are known to spark unexpected results, this matchup appears destined to be another lopsided affair. Fans hoping for a thrilling back and forth battle might be disappointed, as this year's game feels like one where Miami will run away with it. Although rivalry games can often produce surprises, Miami enters this matchup as the clear favorite, and all signs point to them dominating. The Hurricanes are firing on all cylinders, and the Seminoles are in a state of disarray. Barring a complete meltdown from Miami, with their superior talent, depth, and offensive firepower, the Miami Hurricanes to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. One hallmark of this rivalry is the explosive scoring that often accompanies their meetings. At least one team has managed to score 27 points or more in each of the last 6 showdowns between Miami and Florida State. This year, Miami's offense has been nothing short of spectacular, having scored 50 or more points in 5 of their 7 games so far. Their ability to rack up points seemingly at will makes them one of the most exciting offenses to watch, led by one of the nation's top Heisman candidates. Miami's relentless attack will now square off against a porous Florida State defense that has struggled mightily this season. This mismatch should have fans expecting plenty of fireworks, especially since the Seminoles have failed to score more than 20 points in a game since their season opener. Even with their starting quarterback sidelined, Florida State hasn't shown much promise offensively. Uiagalelei wasn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard before his injury, and without him, things have only gotten worse. That said, the Seminoles might still find some opportunities to move the ball against a Miami defense that tends to allow opponents to hang around. However, Miami's offensive prowess should ensure that any points the Seminoles manage to score will be inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. The game total looks particularly enticing for those inclined toward high-scoring affairs. Miami's home games this season have consistently hit the over, and it's easy to see why. Their potent offense ensures they'll put points on the board, and Florida State's struggles on both sides of the ball mean the Hurricanes should encounter little resistance. Given the dynamics of these two teams, betting on the over seems like a smart play. This game has all the makings of another high-scoring affair, with Miami likely running up the score early and often, as both Miami's offensive firepower and Florida State's leaky defense create the perfect conditions for a high-point tally. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Penn State versus Wisconsin. The Wisconsin Badgers are set to host the Penn State Nittany Lions in an exciting Big Ten showdown this Saturday night at the iconic Camp Randall Stadium. Coming into this matchup, Penn State boasts an impressive record of 6-0 and is not just focusing on a potential Big Ten championship, but they are also eyeing a chance at the national title. On the other hand, Wisconsin holds a solid record of 5-2. However, their accomplishments have been somewhat overshadowed by the success of other teams in the conference. Nevertheless, playing at home makes Wisconsin a formidable opponent for anyone. Adding to the intrigue, Penn State has won 5 consecutive games in this rivalry, and with so much at stake for both teams, including aspirations for championships, this matchup is undoubtedly one of the most compelling games on the schedule for Saturday night. In this matchup, it is anticipated that Penn State will secure a convincing road victory, despite the betting line being closer than one might expect, especially considering Wisconsin's recent performance against top-tier teams. While the Badgers have a respectable 5-2 record, they have faced significant challenges against quality opponents, including a staggering 32-point loss to Alabama. Penn State's offense mirrors the power of the Crimson Tide and is continuing to grow stronger week by week. With a passing game that becomes more effective with each game, the Nittany Lions should have no trouble moving the ball down the field this Saturday. Furthermore, Penn State comes into this game refreshed after enjoying a bye week, which should provide them with an additional advantage. Conversely, Wisconsin's offense raises concerns, especially when going up against one of the toughest defenses in the nation. They may struggle to keep up on the scoreboard. In their previous encounters with ranked teams this season, the Badgers failed to cover the spread, and it is expected that this trend will continue in this game. Therefore, the Penn State Nittany Lions to win and cover the spread as the favorites is our full game side pick. As this game unfolds, it will likely embody the characteristics of a classic Big Ten battle, with both teams relying heavily on their ground game to secure a victory. Wisconsin will aim to limit mistakes from their quarterback while leveraging their powerful offensive line, which is anchored by Jake Renfro, who achieved an impressive 88.3 grade last week as the highest graded center. The running lanes created by this strong offensive front will be crucial for Wisconsin as they seek to maintain possession and keep the clock running. On the flip side, Penn State is also expected to utilize their running game effectively, particularly since Wisconsin ranks 10th in the nation against the pass, allowing a mere 156 yards per game through the air. Additionally, both defenses have been stellar in recent outings. Wisconsin has allowed just 16 points in their last 3 games, 2 of which were played on the road. Meanwhile, Penn State permitted a total of 18 points across their 3 previous games before facing the USC Trojans, who scored 30 points last week. Penn State is content to emphasize their run game, and while their passing attack has improved, it is unlikely they will need to depend heavily on long downfield threats in this particular matchup. For Wisconsin, pulling off an upset will hinge on their ability to control the clock and establish their running game. However, they face a significant challenge with a quarterback who has struggled to both throw effectively and find the end zone. The under has hit in Wisconsin's last outing and in 3 of Penn State's 4 most recent games, indicating that these trends will likely carry over into this highly anticipated Saturday night showdown. Given that both teams feature some of the nation's top defenses, it is reasonable to expect that scoring opportunities will be limited throughout the contest. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.